She was born Elsie Helen White in 1927 in a small rural town called Chillicothe, Texas. She was also the youngest and fourth child of Ben White and Alda Thomas. The year was 1927. It was the latter part of the Roaring Twenties, and this was the year that marked the first transatlantic telephone call made from New York to London. And this was also the year of the Great Mississippi Flood, where heavy rains flooded the Mississippi Delta, Arkansas, Louisiana, and it affected over 700,000 people. And more than 200,000 African Americans were displaced during this time, leaving them in terrible living conditions. As a result, many joined the Great Migration from the South to the North and Midwestern industrial cities, rather than to return to the rural hardships. This massive population increased from World War II and the Great Depression. Miss Elsie and her family were part of that great migration, leaving the South to find a better life. And now, here's the story of Miss Elsie and her big sister Thelma recounting their lives moving out west.
The camera's here. Okay. So, when you tell me about when you were, how old were you when you moved here?
You see, that was 1941. 41.
That's a long time ago.
27 from 41.
You were how old?
I guess,
Let me see.
shoot, how old was I? About 12, 14, something like that.
I was 14, you was 16. Because we came here in 41, I was born in 27.
Oh, okay. You can count faster than me.
37,
Yeah.
39, 40, 41. 14. I was 14, you was 16.
Good girl.
So your daddy decided it was time to go?
It was time to go because jobs. Well, my father and my brother had been here 2 years working to get money to send for us.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no, that was, the war had started, so my mother started working that Goodyear at that time because she was small and she could crawl up in those airplanes and do parts or whatever
Oh, wow.
parts they were doing. And I don't know just what my dad was doing, but
Was that in Louisiana they were doing
no,
that?
that was here.
What were they doing in Louisiana before they came?
My mother worked as housekeeper and cook for the rich.
We're white folks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
Yeah, that's
I
how you
don't know what Daddy did in Shreveport. Because in Shreveport, before Shreveport, we lived in the country and he was farmer. But in Shreveport, I guess he just did day labor. That's all I can say.
Mhm.
Day labor is the only thing I can
What was
do.
it like living there as kids? Do you remember racism or anything like that? Or?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad for us. The only part I remember going to school, the white kids and the black kids couldn't ride the same bus because they would fight so much. So we had to ride a certain bus to
Mhm.
school. And after the white kids get beat up. And we had no parks to play in for the blacks. So we would go and run the kids, white kids out of the parks and play until they go get their parents to come back. And then we'll leave. It's back and forth all day on the weekend doing that. But I don't know anything
Prejudice,
about
prejudice.
slavery
Oh, that's
because,
good.
we weren't in the slavery type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Lived in a nice, pretty
But
nice
it was
part
segregated.
Of town. Yeah, but we lived
Mhm.
pretty good. Not too bad.
And like the movies, the blacks could only sit upstairs. There was a downstairs and up balcony. The
Mhm.
blacks could only sit in the balcony, which was the best seats anyway. They didn't realize that, but that was the best seats anyway.
So what was it like when you first got to California? Or do you remember the train ride here? Do you remember what that was like?
It was nice because there was a lot of soldiers on there. So we did a lot of flirting and stuff. They did a lot of flirting with us, but it was nice.
So how do you feel about turning 90? You
I
still
feel
got...
wonderful. I hurt like everything, but I think I'm doing good so far.
How do you get to 90?
You know, I can write a book. I could write you a book about it, but it's a journey. And it's been some good, some bad, but I can laugh about more than I need to cry about. So I feel it's wonderful to get this far.
Oh, yeah.
What's the secret?
Just be yourself and don't drink yourself to death and don't let a man beat on you and all that stuff. Don't take none of that crap.
Live a decent life.
Live a different life, and if it
Try
don't fit,
anyway.
don't force. It's
Get out of it.
always another way to do something. Why you get all done? No. You got all the dominoes. I got what I'm supposed to get. I'm supposed to get 9.